What's up, guys? It's your boy Mizzy. I'm back to give my prediction for the Miami Ohio State game. We got the Cotton Bowl coming up, man. Ohio State is a big favorite. They started out as like a 10.5 point favorite. Now it's down to 9.5. It's a big line. It is a big line. But it's a couple questions for this game. The Miami defense, they is for real. They definitely is for real. And the Ohio State defense, they're for real. So me watching both of these teams this year, it just seems to me that Ohio State is the more complete team. Like I say, it could be wrong, but to me, Ohio State seems like the more complete team. The question to me, I guess the biggest component of this game is Carson Beck, Julian saying which quarterback has a better day versus which defense. And the reason I'm leaning, I'm picking Ohio State is because I just think Carson Beck will have more mistakes this game than Julian saying. Yes, Carson Beck has more experience, and I kind of would like Miami to win this game. Like I said, we haven't seen Miami do something in the playoff in a long time, so it'll be exciting to see a Miami team, really do something. But you just haven't seen it, and I just think Carson Beck, he makes a lot of mistakes at certain moments. Last game, I feel like Miami was protecting him. They seen how the game was going. The wind was controlling a lot of the kicks, and how the kicking game was going. And like I said, they started, Carson Beck, he was throwing screens and stuff. This game, Carson Beck will have to throw the ball down the field. He will have to be a difference maker. You won't be able just to sit back and hand the ball off. I don't think Ohio State is going to let Mark Fletcher just run all over him. Like I said, maybe he can, but I just don't see him having a career day like he did versus A&M. This defense is not A&M defense. A&M defense is good, don't get me wrong. But this Ohio State defense is for real. Like I say, this game, Malachi Tony will have to come to play. He's going to have a bigger game than last week. Carson Beck is going to have more than 20 completions or whatever, how many completions he had. He's going to have a bigger game than he had last week. He won't be able to just sit back and, like I say, hand the ball off. Because, like I said, this Ohio State team is for real. The best thing you could hope, like I said in my previous video, the Alabama-Indiana video, hopefully if you're a Miami fan, you're hoping that Ohio State comes out a little slow, being off a bye. You're hoping that you come out quicker than they come out and you get in rhythm faster. But in my opinion, this Ohio State team is just better. Like I said, they have Jeremiah Smith. In the game, like I said, a lot of it comes down to the key playmaker, Jeremiah Smith. Can you control him? Tate. And like I say, because Tate's a great wide receiver. Even Jeremiah Smith, now, like I said, you probably have to double him. But because like I said, if you single coverage him, he may have a 100-some yard game. If you double him, like I said, maybe he has only 60 yards or 50. But like I said, that he's the key player that you got to figure out, because if your D-line, Miami has a great defense. So the D-line, they count a lot for that D-line getting to the quarterback. The one thing with Julian saying, I don't think talent-wise he's as good as Marcel Reed. But I think decision-making, he's better. And he's better as far as footwork. Marcel Reed, he's a explosive player, but he makes a lot of mistakes, a lot of tendencies that equals in the turnovers. I think Julian Sand is a better decision-making at quarterback. I don't think he'll make as many mistakes as they made. And like I said, the win last week did affect the game a lot. But like I said, I just think, like I said, it's just hard for me to see Ohio State losing this game. Like I say, I could be wrong. Anything can happen in a week. But I got Ohio State this game 27-17. I do have them covering that point spread just because I think Carson Beck he's going to be forced to put the ball in the air. Last week, They didn't even have him stretch the field none. They had one. I think once Miami seen how the game was going, the offensive coordinator was calling the game play real safe. I think this game he's gonna have to stretch the field. He's gonna have to test, like I said, going over the middle, going against the 5-star cornerbacks. I just think Carson Beck, it's always up in the air which game he gonna come playing. I've seen Carson Beck come in games, throw 4 interceptions. I've seen him come in games throwing 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. I've seen him play lights out. I've seen him just look like he's never even picked up a football. So you just never know which Carson Beck to show up. So I got to go with the team that's more complete, that's more consistent. Like I said, some of the games Carson Beck had this year, some of the interceptions was just horrible. So I just feel like even the offense calls plays like they're scared to call certain plays, and I don't think Ohio State has that trepidation. I think that they're gonna let it rip if they have to. I think, like I said, they have Tate, Jeremiah Smith. They even have other weapons. You know, like I said, Bo coming out the backfield. Like I said, man, Fletcher. And like I said, if Fletcher can have I don't think he had that 100. What was it? 150-yard plus game last week versus A&M. If he could have a 80-yard game, that he can keep some of the pressure off of Beck. You know, have the linebackers coming down, biting some, and have him and Beck have some single coverage in that backfield, and have some easy throws. Then maybe Miami could do some stuff. But if Fletcher can't get nothing going on the ground, and Ohio State stifles the run, like I said, I just don't see the Miami winning this game. Like I said, I got it 27-17. We'll see how it goes, guys. But anyways, guys, like I said, that's my analysis for the game. Like I say, should be a good one. I think the game, I got it 27-17. I think it will be close for the first half. And then I think by the end of the third, going into the fourth, I think that's when, like I said, Ohio State will start to inch away from the game, because, like I said, I think Carson Beck, he just makes a few more mistakes than Julian saying, because, like I said, I think he's just not as careful with the football. Like I say, and if you watch the play caller, I think the coordinators know that as well. I think the coordinators know that he's not as safe. So, like I said, last week versus A&M, once they seen it was going to be a low-scoring game, they just played safe. This game, you will have to score more than 10 points. You're not beating Ohio State scoring 10 points. If this Miami defense can hold Ohio State lower than 10 points, they'll show me something. They'll show me that their defense is even better than what I thought. And like I said, I know they have a great defense. But anyway, guys, hey, look, like, comment, subscribe, share, and we'll catch you next time. Hey, look, like I said, man, college football heating up. It's a lot of games. Like I said, man, it should be a good game. And like I said, man, you never know these games, how they'll turn out. But like I say, guys, we'll see. And like I say, man, Cotton Bowl, man, I'm just glad to have college football. And like I say, man, before you know it, the season will be ending. So like I say, the season, I remember when the season was starting, and now the season is winding down. So, hey, guys, let's just enjoy all these good games. I catch you next time. Appreciate it.